Dead breeze, we rap this shit. Where they pull them weapons quick and snitches be the death of it. Do you hear them? Here they come. Niggas balling out the slums. Here to tell you where I'm from.
Since he was technically knocked out, you telling me he
No, it's a compound problem. It was who he was knocked out by. A nigga who don't knock nobody good out.
That hit him in the back of his ear.
But he couldn't hit nobody else in the back of the ear and knock him out in his whole career.
I mean, the nigga was rolling around on the floor after a punch himself, my nigga.
You can't even
how obvious you want it, yo?
Paco, I'm sitting here reading his resume to you and telling you that he went the distance with people that Wilder would cream. I'm sitting here reading his resume, explaining to you that the guy who just knocked Wilder out, stopped him, has went the distance with people that Wilder would decimate.
Wilder was dead and he couldn't knock him out.
What I'm explaining to you is Francisco Pianeta, who's a cruiserweight, whose record was 35-4-1 when Tyson Fury fought him. That was Tyson Fury's second comeback fight. He fought a cruiserweight so he could try to get his speed back, according to Fury. That's not my point. My point is he went the distance with a cruiserweight named Francisco Pianeta when he first came back. Tyson Fury has a history of not knocking people out, but actually boxing them and winning on points. So for Deontay Wilder to be stopped by that particular individual and not Dillian White, who's a power punch, landing a lucky punch, or Anthony Johnson, who's a power puncher, putting him down. He got put down by a nigga who don't put down cruiserweights. But Tyson Fury fought Deontay.
For real, like you acting like the nigga got Mike Tyson or something. Like you losing it, man.
No, I'm not losing it. I'm just making a point that a nigga who's not known for knocking people out, a dude who's known for the exact opposite.
I still ain't really sure. I get what you're saying, but...
Yeah, but it doesn't matter what you see because you won't even take the time to do the research, just like when we talk about Africa or anything else. You say things, but you don't do your homework. So when I say Tyson Fury's resume, when I say that I'm reading Tyson Fury's resume, there's nothing left to question. I can name any of these people that he's went the distance with, and I'm willing, if they were to fight Deontay Wilder, I would bet my money on Wilder knocking those people out. Because why wouldn't I do that with Fury? Why would I say, yeah, I'll bet Fury wins, but if I had to bet by knockout, before I wouldn't have did it because that's not what Fury does. But your guy is so put-in, he did it to him.
Nah, he got beat up, man.
So what I'm explaining to you, so how can you explain him fighting Derek Chisora twice and not knocking him out, but Dillian White knocked Chisora out? How can you explain that?
I don't care nothing about none of them people.
Exactly. It's not about who you care about. It's about making the point that Tyson Fury fought a guy twice, didn't knock him out. Dillian White fought him twice, knocked him out. So, but Tyson Fury knocked your guy out. He stopped your guy. So my point is that he fought Derek Chisora, who I don't think is as good as Deontay Wilder. Most people would not give Derek Chisora a chance against Deontay Wilder.
Them guys Wilder knock out.
I just said I agree with you that Wilder knocks Derek Chisora out. But my point is Tyson Fury didn't. Dillian White did. Dillian White did. Dillian White did. But Tyson Fury fought that man twice and didn't knock him out. He fought Derek Chisora 2 times and went. So that's 24 rounds he went with Derek Chisora. 24 rounds because he couldn't get him out of there. But Dillian White got him out of there.
Deontay Wilder knocked himself out at least 3 times or am I tripping?
No, Wilder ain't knocked himself out. Fury knocked him out.
He didn't punch his glove and just start falling. One time he tried to UFC slam a nigga.
It's over for Wilder. It's over for Wilder.
I ain't even say that for Joshua. Like, you just a hater, bro. You
can't say it's over for Joshua because we watched Joshua go strap collecting. We watched Joshua go strap collecting and knock out top-tier boxers.
That nigga lost the whole 4 or 5 belts and shit. And
got him right back. Let's see if your guy can do that. Let's see if he's even on that level. Let's see if your guy's on that level. Remember, I bet on my guy. I won money when niggas was betting on Ruiz because I knew that Ruiz landed a lucky punch. You gonna sit here and tell me Tyson Fury landed a lucky punch? Is that what you gonna sit here and try to say?
No.
Okay, so it's not the same. Everybody in boxing agrees Andy Ruiz landed a lucky punch, and then we all agree Andy Ruiz is a good technical boxer. Hold on, D. Before they fought the first time, everybody said how good of a technical boxer Andy Ruiz was, right? Everybody said, well, Andy's a very good technical guy with fast hands. His only problem is his weight fluctuations. But in that second fight, D, the same way Vladimir Klitschko lost to Tyson Fury, and they said that it was boring. The same way Tyson Fury beat Klitschko, and everybody said that fight was boring as hell, but Fury won, right? So when people say Joshua's fight was boring, but he won, he got the belts back. You got to take the stone from him. That wasn't boring. That nigga Fury was dancing, bro. Yeah, but Fury versus Klitschko, everybody said it was a boring fight. Everybody did. Floyd Mayweather said it was a boring fight. Andre Ward. People started saying Fury's style was boring. People started to make it wasn't everybody, because everybody don't talk about boxers like that. Just like they give Deontay a lot more credit than he deserves. Right. They think that his power is going to cover up for everything. Yeah, but boxing is about levels. He said on the phone earlier, styles make fight. If you don't stylistically go in there with the hardest styles, with the hardest competitors, with the top tier champions, then you yourself are a paper champion, a la Deontay Wilder, a la Danny Garcia. These are paper champions. Just because you're undefeated and you got a belt, it depends on who you beat. And when Danny Garcia was 31-0 and he was undefeated, his best victory was Amir Khan. We seen what Bud Crawford did to Amir Khan, so we understand why Danny Garcia don't want to fight Bud. We see what Tyson Fury just did to Deontay Wilder. So we understand that people who punch harder than him and still can box. Maybe not at the level of Tyson Fury's boxing, but they can box like Joshua and White.
Act like they're threats. They're threats because Wilder can't box. He smashed a nigga face at least 3 times, dog, before he went out.
I don't want to hear what you say, dog.
You just want to see what you want to see, bro. You want to see him.
Listen, D. Paco don't see none of them interviews where actual professional boxers and people who be ringside, they talk about how Wilder's just not a good boxer, but he has dynamite right hand. We all acknowledge that. But when you say that his right hand is going to get to everybody, I can't agree with you, because some people are technically sound. There are fighters out here. That don't mean they're going to be Wilder. That don't mean that they're going to be Wilder. What it means, D, is that they have a better chance than maybe a Dominic Brazil or a Bermain Stavern or a Luis.
You're the best technical fighter. What are you saying?
Agreed. But now when we start talking about Wilder having the most power and Fury being the most technically sound, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to be quiet. Can you pause that for a second, D? I want to hear his answer. Who is the best combination of the two, Pop? Of power and technical boxing.
I mean, Clown says Anthony Joshua, but
and that's why Wilder won't fight him, because he's too much of a risk. Remember when Fury first came back? He said, Anthony Joshua, I'll never fight you. And then people start putting Fury on blast. How did they put Fury on blast? They played the audio after Fury and Joshua sparred. He said, Fury said out his own mouth, that young gold medalist, Anthony Joshua, yeah, he came up here and sparred with me. And I'll be the first one to tell you, he's got a bright future because he put some shots on me. Now, let's talk about what the people who were at the sparring session said. Rumors, you can find it on YouTube right now. Rumors come out. Joshua beat Fury up in sparring. So when Fury came back to boxing, he said, I'll never fight Anthony Joshua because he ran from Deontay Wilder. Now, we all understand that he was selling the fight. Right. He was trying to sell the fight and use Joshua's name to make his fight bigger. I understand that.
I'm going
to tell you how I know. I'm going to tell you how I know he was, Paco, because he's going to fight Joshua for the money and for undisputed.
Didn't Ruiz knock his block off shortly after that?
Yeah, and my point to you is this.
There you go. Negate.
My point to you is this. Andy Ruiz, but Andy Ruiz was champion for 6 months. So now let me pose a question to you. If Tyson Fury and Vladimir Klitschko did have their rematch like they were contractually obligated to do, see, that was in the contract. But Tyson Fury went on the drug and alcohol business.
All you got to do is go back and watch the fight again and see how Wilder punched him in the cheek, and that makes it die.
This is what I'm saying. There's a saying in boxing: you're not a champion unless you beat the champion twice. That's the saying. That's why Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield fought twice. Because they try to make it like it was a fluke that Evander Holyfield beat Mike Tyson. Tyson fans believe that, and some boxing people believe that because they just thought Mike Tyson might be better than Evander Holyfield. But this is the age-old thing. Mike Tyson hit harder than Evander Holyfield. I don't think none of us have a problem with that. But Evander Holyfield beat Mike Tyson twice because Evander Holyfield was a better combination.
I think Ryder might have got to get a pay cut.
Because Evander Holyfield was a better combination of boxing and power.
Look at
this. Look at these titles. Fury destroys Wilder. Tyson Fury destroys Deontay Wilder in 7. Tyson Fury shocks the world, TKOs Deontay Wilder. Lennox Lewis reacts to Tyson Fury. Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson. Like, come on, man. Tyson Fury dominates Deontay Wilder. Like, yes, look at Wilder's face.
Look at that knot by his ear.
Do you know the Muffin Man?
Look right here.
Yeah. Because he got knocked out in the second round.
But this is what I'm saying. Joshua, for a fact, I ain't saying that he beat Fury in a fight, but for a fact, he punched harder. What would Wilder be doing if Joshua was sitting on them joints and catching him half of what Fury is? More power, less boxing ability.
You talking about the same boy I watched last time around? That fighting Ruiz? Stop playing with me, man.
I'm not playing with you.
Why are you playing, man?
I'm not playing with you. I'm not playing with you at all. Again, I'll say this again. I'll say this again. He didn't get hit in his jaw. He got hit in the head like Wilder did. But you can't even admit that because you a fraud.
Come on, man. Your boy to lose weight.
No, you can't even admit that because you a fraud. You a hater. You can't even tell the truth. Anthony Joshua didn't
How you gonna come in next time?
Anthony Joshua didn't get hit. Paco, Anthony Joshua didn't get hit in the back of the head like Wilder did.
Who?
Anthony Joshua didn't get punched in the back of the head like Wilder did, Pop.
I don't remember all that.
Oh, my God. They done showed it 1,000,000 times.
I've seen a couple of knockdowns. I've seen when he was on his lead playing test.
The only thing that can make this clear for me, dude, the only thing, Joshua ain't going to say no, he got too much class. He said something?
I respect you, yeah.
Oh, his reaction. But Joshua picked Fury to win.
I respect your nonsense that you can't see boxing for what it is. But you know everything else apparently.
Hey,
man, you got knocked out in the second round.
Your loss, brother. There's a new champion in town. Your bull got murdered. Your bull got destroyed. Your bull got now Wilder not your bull?
Of course he is.
All right, your bull got destroyed by a pillow punching ass nigga. A nigga who don't punch hard stopped you, man.
A bull who hit somebody in the back of the head.
Yeah, but Andy Ruiz hit Anthony Joshua in the back of the head. You ain't make no excuses for Anthony Joshua.
Honestly, I don't even really like that knockout. I think we go too far, but yeah, it was pretty much a knockout.
All saying your man got stopped. The stop is a knockout. Whether the corner stopped it, whether you throwing it, it's a stoppage. Just like I told you when Wilder scored a knockdown, he didn't knock Tyson Fury out. You tried to argue that. You're a fanboy. You're a man fan.
What?
You like this man so much that you want everything to go his way. You like this man so much but Paco, I told you, karma gets us all. And Deontay Wilder opened Pandora's box when he challenged a real fighter. Not an over-the-hill fighter like Luis Ortiz. Not a 40-year-old like Luis Ortiz. When he challenged a real fighter, when he challenged a dude who had belts before, the first nigga he ever fought that had belts before has beat him twice.
Wilder guard was ass cheeks when he got hit in the back of the motherfucking head.
But now Wilder is garbage ass cheeks. But before he was...
No, I said his guard. His guard. Can you hear? You know what I'm talking about?
So would his guard be great against Joshua, though? His guard wouldn't be garbage against Joshua or White? Or anybody else who can really fight?
Punch that little ass nigga in his bitch ass chin.
Yeah, but why wasn't he quick with a dude that weighed 30 pounds more than Joshua?
One, they both was playing with each other.
Tyson Fury wasn't playing with him. Obviously. Tyson Fury dropped him in the second round. There's 12 rounds in a fight. In the second round, your man was on the canvas. He was not playing with him. That was obvious.
Let me tell you, he got knocked down the first time for real.
See, now, D, what did I say? What did I say about Gerard Washington?
They got hit in the back of the head.
What did I say about Gerard Washington? What did I say about Charles Martin just earlier? When Charles Martin had the belt, Wilder didn't fight him. And what did Charles Martin just do? Knock out a nigga faster than Deontay Wilder knocked out that same man.
Let's be clear. The first time Tyson knocked him on his butt, And after that, it was all bullshit.
It wasn't bullshit. It was him dominating. It was him jumping on him.
If you want to say he knocked him down, I'll give you
a
that.
bunch of times. At least 3 or 4 times he knocked him down.
Dog.
He got him down at least 3 times.
Fraudulent, bro. At
least 3 times. He knocked him down twice in 1 round.
I'm going to say it was 3 real ones.
Throughout that fight, that's what I just said. I said at least 3. I said at least 3.
And one was past tense.
No, the 4th one, you can argue. I give you that. I give you the 4th one. The 3 knockdowns was clean.
The first one was definitely a knock on the butt. And then he hit him in the back of the head, and it was over.
So you going to sit here and tell me that it was any time in that fight where Wilder looked good?
Yeah, I mean, nah, I wouldn't say good because he lost every round, but he definitely was catching ball.
He lost every round. Just like he was losing every round against Ortiz and pulled the knockout out of his back pocket. Just like he went 12 rounds with Bermain Stefan the first time he fought him. When Wilder hold on, D. Anthony Joshua going 12 rounds and winning on points isn't good, but that's how Deontay Wilder won his belt.
And one the OG Washington got knocked out too. Boy.
You're talking about Gerard Washington, right?
Yeah,
that's what I was just talking about. He fought Wilder, and he was fucking Wilder up.
He old down, bro.
He's not really old. He's just not that good. Bro. Right. He kind of old for a boxer. But see, the bull who knocked him out, Paco, that's the bull Anthony Joshua knocked out. The bull who was the champion, and he worked for the same people as Wilder. That's why he was fighting on Wilder undercard. So my point that I made to you yesterday was even when Charles Martin, your own stablemate, had the belt, you didn't unify with him. Because what did Charles Martin just do to Gerard Washington? He knocked him out faster than Wilder did. That don't mean Charles Martin can knock out Wilder. It means that Charles Martin hit hard enough to be a threat to Wilder and his thin-ass frame. Because it only takes 1 punch in the heavyweight division.
But didn't that nigga look skinny? Like, that nigga's stomach was like nothing.
Wilder?
Yeah, that nigga was skinny as fuck.
And that's the heaviest he's ever been in a fight.
No, I know that. That's why that was weird to me.
I told you, man.
That boy was thin, bro.
Now we finally can rejoice. We can finally be happy because we're gonna get undisputed. Tyson Fury is not cut like Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury, the money and the fact that he believes he'll beat Anthony Joshua. He knows Joshua's dangerous, but just the money, the belts, and the fact that Tyson Fury believes that he's too good a boxer for Joshua to land a big shot on, because he don't believe that Joshua can beat him in 12 rounds. And he's probably right. If it go to distance, he will probably outpoint Anthony Joshua. So Joshua will be in the same position as Wilder, even though he has better tools than Wilder.
Right.
Because he's a better technical boxer. He don't have as much power, but he's probably the second hardest puncher in the heavyweight division.
Right.
I'm going to rewatch that fight, and I'm going to let you know the truth, because I don't understand.
That's the real heavyweight fight, the fight that we all been looking for, undisputed.
I'm talking about this Wilder.
Yeah, but Wilder's going to lose again. If he takes the fight, he'll lose again. Fury's just too good for him. Fury's just too good of a boxer.
You know what it is.
He's too long. He got the reach advantage. He got the height advantage. He got the weight advantage.
I didn't think he was in that much trouble until that time, bro.
But I told you, I didn't think Fury was going to knock him out. I'll be the first one to say that. I'll be the first one to say. And the reason I didn't is because Fury don't knock normal bums out sometimes. So there's no reason.
Wilder didn't get knocked out either. He just
But the problem is that Wilder don't fight nobody. The only people, when you say the third best person you fought is Bermain Stefan, that's a bad thing. And then when you say Luis Ortiz is not a bad thing, but he shouldn't be the second best person you fought because he's never beaten anybody. So Wilder to have more fights than Joshua and more fights than Fury and not have as good a resume as either one of them, that was always a strike against Wilder to a person who actually knows boxing. It makes it seem like Wilder.
I know what's in the ring, and I know what I've seen.
Yeah, but I'm not disputing what you've seen. I'm just saying who you've seen it against was not top-level competition because they're grown men, Pac. That's what I've been telling you this whole time. And you make it seem like knocking out any John or Jim or Jerry means that you're that shit. Like Mike Tyson, prime example. When he was fighting nobodies, he was knocking niggas out in 1 round. But once Mike Tyson started to go up to the Buster Douglases of the world, the Evander Holyfields and the Lennox Lewises and the people who had actually accomplished big fights in boxing, he either struggled or lost. Because these were a different level. Yes, styles make fights. But
Fury was
styles,
smarter than him. That's what I just said. If you didn't understand what I was trying to say, was Fury was even acting like he was going to go underneath Wilder before the fight. He kept doing these little uppercuts like he was going to fight like he did last
that's what you're
fight.
supposed to do when somebody put their head on your chest.
He's smart. That's all it is.
But that's just boxing 101. It's Wilder's fault that he don't have that stuff in his repertoire. That he only got the overhand right cross, the right hook, and the motherfucking right jab.
I don't think you're able to see styles all the way. Like, even if I was Wilder,
Paco, I'm not
I
the
would
only
be
one
like, yo,
that says this.
he's trying to box
Paco, I'm not the
underneath.
only one that says this. Boxing analysts
boxing
from all
underneath is a
over the
great
world
skill.
say this about Deontay Wilder, Paco. They all say Deontay. Like, why you think casual boxing talk?
And he can box. That's why he wouldn't be able to adjust to the fact that Fury is going up top. You can't. Like, if you think a nigga go underneath you, that's scary.
Paco, I want to point
you don't want nobody going underneath you, bro.
I want to point something out to you. Anthony Joshua fought Klitschko in 20 fights. Wilder won his
guard
belt.
was low.
Listen, Wilder won his belt. Wilder won his belt after 32 fights. And when they asked him about unification with Klitschko, his manager said he was a baby. He wasn't ready yet. So
Wilder, he told me, like, no, he keep the same people in this camp. He
ain't gonna change nothing. Paco, he got an Olympic gold medalist as his trainer.
He needs somebody that can switch their styles up.
Yeah, but that's what I'm explaining to you. Wilder can't box. How you gonna switch your style up and you can't even grasp technical ABC 1-2 shoot regular boxing, pugilism? He can't even master the basic boxing that they teach everybody.
No, Wilder dumb. He thought he was going underneath and hitting guard the streets. He wasn't guarding his head, dog.
Paco, because Fury brought the fight to him. That's not the point. The point is this. If you add the two fights, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Fury's good enough to switch his style. Fury saw everything.
That's the only reason I like Fury.
But Wilder's not. But Wilder's not, because Wilder relies on the same thing every fight. That's why he picks bums to fight.
Yeah, but if you don't
That's why he picks bums to fight. That's why most of That's why most of Deontay Wilder's resume are bums. Because of the fact that he is a one-trick pony. As long as he can put the right person in front of that trick, he will remain unstained. But as soon as you find people who can adapt to that trick, as soon as you find, now not only can Tyson Fury adapt, he brought in people who specialize in a style that is anti what Wilder does. What did Wilder say when he knocked Luis Ortiz out? I was patient. Fury didn't give him a chance.
He was a better boxer
Fury didn't give him a chance to be patient. But that's not my point. My point is not that we always knew Fury is a better boxer. My point, personal point, is that you shouldn't let Fury stop you. That shows that you're Fury
beating up his top wins and everything.
And that's what Deontay does to people too. So you'll get no sympathy from me. Deontay does that to people too. Deontay is one of the most illegal punching motherfuckers in boxing. A video just came out this morning about can Tyson Fury survive Deontay Wilder's illegal punches. And in this video, he went to show multiple Wilder fights where Wilder hit somebody in the back of the head.
I just said he just played like that. I just said that.
All right, so I know you respect it because you respected what Andy Ruiz did at the end of Joshua. So respect it when Tyson Fury do it to Wilder. Don't use it as an excuse. Don't use it as an excuse.
I never will.
Your man will never get that belt back. Your man will never get that belt back. Now, now we on the road to something.
Hey, Rock, I believe that.
Deontay Wilder can't beat that man. He done lost twice. He done lost twice, and the second time in a worse fashion. He can't beat that man. That man came back after 2.5 years away from boxing, fought 2 cruiserweights, and then went the distance with Deontay Wilder. When he was out of shape. When he was not built, didn't have the air to go 12. Remember, he was doing cocaine, doing beer, smoking weed, smoking cigarettes, fucking different bitches. He was on a full fucking, what's his name? What's the boy name? Robert Downey Jr. move. He was in his bag, like, he was on TMZ every week, dude. He had ballooned up to 300 pounds. So when he came back and fought 2 cruiserweights, not no heavyweights, he went 12 rounds with 2 cruiserweights. 2 cruiserweights so he can get his agility back. And it didn't work because Wilder still caught him in the fight. So he still was, like he said, you fought a half mass. That means I was at about 50% Gypsy King. You fought a half mass Gypsy King. He said, now, like he told him in the presser the other day, I'm 100%. I'm in the best shape of my life.
Even Wilder didn't expect him to try to knock him out. That sounds like bull.
But Wilder didn't expect it. And it happened, though.
Because he's that style.
Because me and Deontay Wilder both agree. Tyson Fury's resume indicates no way in the world that he can knock you out on command. Due to the people that he has went 12 rounds with. Right. And what their career has unfolded for them.
On the bullhead.
No, my point is this. My point is this. So what does that say about Wilder? That he couldn't catch none of those other fighters that I think Wilder could knock out himself? And that I think a lot of people would agree. He couldn't catch none of them the way he caught Wilder. That says that Wilder's that sloppy or that bad of a boxer. That he was able to be caught. So with Anthony Joshua, all the stars had to align. You had to take out the person he had been training and gaining weight for and put a different fighter completely that he was not thinking about in. That's first of all the dangerous thing to do. They tell you that when a fighter pulls out, you're supposed to put a bum in there. That's what they tell you. If you're prepared for a fight, like he did with Takum, when Kubrat Pulev was supposed to fight Joshua the first time, and Pulev pulled out because he said he got hurt in camp, what did Joshua do? He put Carlos Takum in there, a person who he ain't see as a threat, and he knocked Takum out. But then when he put Andy Ruiz in there, who had only lost by decision to Joseph Parker, who had never been down, who's an Olympian, who's a fucking, who everybody know got fast hands, who he had nothing but less than a month to, he had less than 2 months to prepare for Andy Ruiz. And once he knocked him down, he thought the fight was over, and he rushed in, and Ruiz caught him with a shot behind the ear that he never recovered from. So we had to have all that happen for Joshua to lose.
But you don't expect it the other way.
No,
that's why
but it doesn't matter. Anybody can lose. I'm not saying Deontay Wilder can't lose. I'm saying shame on him for letting a nigga who don't knock nobody good out knock him out.
I'm saying he looked like he got in equilibrium. He wasn't winning the match,
but the same
he
thing with
like
Joshua. And Joshua lasted longer than Wilder after he got knocked off of his equilibrium. And,
I hear what you're saying, but it's team throwing the towel.
Harder puncher, dude. I'm willing to bet my life.
It's team throwing the towel, Rocky style, bro.
Andy Ruiz got more knockouts than Tyson Fury. Andy Ruiz knocked out most of the people he fought. Andy Ruiz was the top 5 contender 10 years ago.
I mean, you keep acting like Fury is his knockout artist that he's not. And that's just sad.
Why are you saying that?
Because he really didn't knock him out.
Anything in our conversation? I said that
you acting like the nigga was throwing them hands like Tyson, though.
You are so stupid.
Like Tyson back? I ain't know that.
My point for me. Your man got stopped by a person who don't stop people. Dumbass nigga.
I mean, when the nigga was out of it, he still couldn't knock him out.
You're making my point for me. Tyson Fury don't knock nobody out. Tyson Fury don't knock nobody who ever is even a half of somebody out. Like, that's why I use Derek Chisora as an example.
And he really didn't do Wilder. He did Wilder and he put him on the
stoppage is knockout.
Stoppage
is knockout. Whether a fighter throw in a white flag, whether his corner throws in a white flag, just like Bud Crawford fought, Dick, and his corner said he wasn't coming back out. Because Bud stopped it.
Fury still wasn't going in on him if you didn't notice. He still wasn't going in on him, bro.
Wilder was exposed for being the bum that he was. Now, in a week, all those Wilder fans, not all of them, because it's going to be people like you who got to be America first. But a lot of them are going to jump ship because you can't lose your O in this business. And that's why Joshua's in hot water. But guess what? Joshua did what I promise you, and I'm willing to bet money on it, Wilder won't do. He's not going to just wake up, switch his style, and beat a better boxer than him.
I ain't say you're going to be there. I ain't never heard you say you're going to do nothing else.
You just said you'll bet on him in the next
fight. Only thing you got to do is bring his guard up and know that Tyson ain't going to fix that up.
Fight. Therefore, you just said you'll bet on him in the next fight. Therefore,
I am. I'm confident in that.
Therefore, you are saying that Wilder is going to do something to be a better fighter and beat Fury next time.
No, I think if he didn't get hit in the back of the ear, it would have been a good fight.
Yeah, but Paco, I'm gonna
That's
keep it
what I
real
thought.
with you. If he never hit him in the back of the head and that fight just kept going on, Fury was dominating him.
Yeah, boxing-wise, he still wouldn't go in for some reason.
Yeah, but why are you so focused on the knockout? If you're being dominated for the better part of 7 rounds in boxing, it's only 12 rounds in a fight. What do you think? Wilder was just going to click something on and start beating him?
He wasn't going to win the boxing match regardless.
If Wilder can't land a knockout, he can't win.
He was going for it a couple times.
Paco,
He's going for the shot.
It doesn't matter if you go for it. You got to land it. If you don't land it, you're going to lose against a guy who can box if you yourself can't box.
When we first started looking blunt until we realized Wilder was all the way going. That's just what it was.
Yeah, but
that's just what it was, bro.
That's your opinion. He did what he said he was going to do. He knocked Wilder down after the
Man,
second round.
Pillow Head is still scared to knock the nigga out.
So if that same
the nigga was falling over his own feet, man.
Tyson Fury, Paco, continues to train and prepares another camp for Wilder with the same people.
That wrestling training is for him, whatever he's doing with that wrestling training, but, you know.
No, they ain't nothing to do with it.
Why they do that?
She just switched his
No, he was a little stronger.
He just switched his
Triple H had him in the gym.
Boxing trainer.
Triple H had him in the gym. It's all right.
I mean, I hear you. The only thing I'm telling you is Fury came in heavier so he could lay on Wilder, because when a fighter that's heavier than you puts his body on you, it wears you down. Fury came in.
Yeah, that goes. That goes so serious. Yeah, Wilder's skinny body wrapped up.
Came in heavier so he could throw more powerful punches. So
everything worked out for him. That's
good. On his punches is what he did is called. He sat
beautiful weight. He has good
put
speed.
himself in a position to get hit, and he started hitting Wilder in the body. He's taking the air out of him, Paco.
Yeah, it was all good. None of it.
Fatigued. So now once you get fatigued,
they're still scared of him.
You get fatigued. No, he's cautious. He's making sure he don't leave his
yeah, you sound the same. That's crazy.
There's shame in that. It's called win. If you win by all field goals, you still win. It don't matter if you win by all field goals or you score 5 touchdowns. It don't matter if you come back or you lead the whole game. The objective, as Anthony Joshua,
my second favorite heavyweight
as Klitschko, the objective is to win by any means within the rules.
Well, he could have just been the reason he's going, too.
Fury, like you said, styles make fight. And once he went in there with Wilder and understood his style and got himself into a little bit better shape, he came back.
That nigga ain't understand Wilder's style. He just knocked him out, bro.
That's why he sat in his chest. So Wilder couldn't set up a 1-2 with the big right hand. He sat in Wilder's chest and brought the attack to Wilder, so Wilder had to fight off what's called the back foot. When you're on your back foot, you can't set it up because you're backpedaling.
I got to teach you that.
Huh?
You got to throw the back left when you're doing that.
Nah, but what I'm saying is Wilder has never shown in any of the fights where somebody got him on the back foot for maybe even just a couple punches that he can fight that way, that he can counter punch. He showed, like Arthur Spilka's not good, and Wilder devastatingly knocked him out. I mean, that was one of Wilder's nastiest knockouts. But earlier in that fight, Spilka was whooping his ass a little bit, just like Gerald Washington. Gerald Washington put pressure on Wilder and kept coming forward until he got tired, and then Wilder was able to walk up on him a little bit and say, 1-2, 1-2, and then that 2 was boom, and you go down. If I keep putting pressure on you and I keep making you backpedal to get away from thus pressure, you can't set your feet and throw a 1 where the 2 is dynamite. You don't have the leverage. That's why they say, like, pressure fighters, like Big Baby Miller. He don't hit that hard, but he's a pressure fighter. He keep coming forward, and he throws a lot of punches. Like what Tyson Fury did tonight is a lot like what Big Baby Miller does every fight. And the reason they say he don't hit hard is because a lot of those guys, he don't get them out of there. He win by decision because he was more active, and he hit them more times than they hit him. And that's what
Deontay had a style for that.
No, but Deontay don't have no style. Deontay has a fast jab because he's the skinniest heavyweight in the division. He has fast legs because he's a former basketball player, and he's the lightest heavyweight in the division. So Wilder can get out And he can jab, and him being 6'7", he can keep you at the end of the jab. The same pushy shit you call Anthony Joshua. That's what taller fighters do when they find themselves in trouble. And if you watch Wilder fights like I know you have, you've seen Wilder keep people at the end of his jab until he get himself back calibrated or go to the corner and they give him another set of directions. You've seen him do it. So my point is, with certain fighters, you can use your leverage. Well, Fury has the leverage in height and reach against Wilder. So that's two things going for Fury. Fury's the better technical boxer. So now, even though none of that worked for him to get the win the first fight, he went and brought somebody else in who specializes in attack, knockout boxing. So what they wanted to do was not give Wilder a chance to load up the rifle. We know he got the rifle. It's right on his back. But we never going to let him put the 2 bullets in the barrels. We're going to jump in his face and just stay on him. Even if we ain't putting the type of power, even if he eating them Jones, we don't know how he going to respond. But we're going to keep hitting him. Stay in his face. Stay in his face. Every time he try to set himself back up, jump on his ass. Put him in the corner. When he get on the ropes, throw all your titties, throw all your shoulders and your stomach on this nigga. Lean on him. Let this nigga know what 270 feel like on his back. And then when he come up for air, hit him again. And again, and again. That was the game plan the whole time, Pac.
Yeah.
And what I'm explaining to you is Teddy Atlas told us 3 days ago on his podcast. That's the perfect style. If you can box.
Absolutely.
And Teddy Atlas made sure to say, if you can box, that would be the perfect style to get Wilder out of there. He said we're going to call it punches and bunches. He said, that's how I'm going to refer to this. What Fury is talking about is sitting in Wilder's chest and hitting him and hitting him and hitting him until either Wilder's tired or the ref breaks it up and make him go back to separate corners. And then when Wilder get back and he's trying to set up and he's trying to set up his 1-2, you don't let him. You jump back in his chest, high guard, so he can't hit you in the head. And then you start punching him and you start punching him. And if he's blocking his head, you hit him in his body. This is what Mike Tyson used to do. To everybody. Now, that style can't work against everybody.
Yeah, he was hitting him high in his body.
Exactly. Lewis kept him on the end of the jab. That's what the taller fighter is supposed to do to secure victory. Joshua was smart enough not to chase no fucking knockout when he knew that if he lost this, his belts was gone. The main thing is to get the belts back. That was the main thing, and that's what I'm saying. I promise you, just like I promise you Fury will win this fight, I promise you your guy will not win ever against Tyson Fury unless Tyson Fury celebrate too hard and go back into that dark fucking coke and alcohol binge. He cannot beat him. That's why when he opened up the box, Pandora's box, and tried to get Fury cold, it was a grave mistake that you couldn't get that decision that night or secure the knockout. The Fury getting up was the worst thing that ever happened for you because now you couldn't skip over him like, I don't need to fight you because I already beat you. It was labeled a draw so you could keep your belts because you lost that fight. Everybody in the world knows you lost that fight. Everybody says you lost that fight except for the people you work for and your fucking friends. So now, what I tell you, Fury going to get in shape, Pop. Fury going to get better. He going to get back to closer to where he used to be. And Wilder, if you couldn't deal with him at 0.5%, you can't deal with Fury when he in his bag. And he's so smart, he knew what style to bring against you. And that's why you don't talk that down to Eddie.
I thought it was a smart game plan.
Yeah, that was, everybody knew he was smart because we watched the way he beat Klitschko. He didn't let Klitschko use his power against him. He kept Klitschko at the end of his jab. And everybody said it was a boring fight. But it doesn't matter if it's boring. He walked away with the titles. That's all that matters in boxing. That you have the fucking hardware. That you have the receipts. And Joshua did what real champions do. He took a nasty L for being overconfident, for thinking he had the fight won, for underestimating Andy Ruiz, even picking Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz is arguably a better fighter than Big Baby Miller. How do you replace the person you was training and add and wait for an arguable better fighter?
We surpassed him. I remember a conversation. He was like, Ruiz. I was like, Ruiz.
I ain't never tell you Ruiz surpassed no Joshua.
Yeah.
I ain't never tell you that. I always told you Joshua was the king. I never faded. I never flailed. Brother, Paco, why you gotta do that? Why you gotta do that? Why you gotta fraud on me?
You making up stuff.
So Paco, why did I bet on Joshua? Why did I bet on Joshua in the rematch?
I didn't say what you say I said.
Oh, all right. I'm about to say I never said Ruiz was.
Nah, you surpassed him that night, and he was like, he gonna beat Ruiz up.
And I told you that.
No,
I told you he gonna beat Ruiz up.
And
what did he do? What did he do in the rematch? What did he do in the rematch? Because Ruiz didn't beat him up. Are you talking
about a whole rematch?
Yeah, because every champion get one if they want it. If they want it.
The one where he didn't do too much, right?
It don't matter because you say that you say a knockout matters. Because you say a boxer got to get knockouts. I just said Deontay Wilder. All right, so I'm not knocking that man. You know what he got to do? He got to get his belts back by any means necessary.
That man in he
got to get his belts back by any means necessary. He ain't got to do no more than that. That's why I ain't make a video when he got his belts back. Because I'm not making no video for you to do what the fuck you should have did in the first place. Even if you had to beat him that way in the first place.
About Wilder in a couple months.
Yeah, but Wilder can't do it. Wilder don't box good enough. You still banking on the right hand that just didn't come. That's idiocy. That's idiocy. Fury just told you he could take it away from him. You're the only one who think Wilder can switch up a style or get another trainer.
He didn't do that with a job of shutting it down.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did because he dominated him every round of the fight. How didn't I do a good job of stopping your right hand? Not only did I won every round. Not only did I won every round, not even talking about the stoppage. I won every single round of that fight. I completely neutralized your game.
You don't know that.
I neutralized everything you do. I sat on you. I put 273 on you, and I didn't let you throw your right hand. You could not cock it back and throw it like Vern and them. He got a hood nigga knockout. He throw from his ankle sometimes. He come from his ankle with that joint sometimes. Wilder and this is true like I said, the reason he is a nigga is because he got all them fights under his belt, and at no time did he think.
What you call it? He's a nigga. What you call it? Oh Lord. Good Lord.
He is a nigga. He's very unintelligent.
Oh my God.
Deontay Wilder is very unintelligent. Now he might have some level of boxing IQ, but he's a nigga, and you can tell certain shit. Like when you have 32 fights.
All right, Obadiah, chill out.
I'm saying when you got 32 fights and you ain't improving on your craft, and your managers speak up for you and call you a baby when they ask you about unifying, that shows me kind of that you have the nigga mentality. You listening to the white man for one, and for two, you ain't doing enough work and actually trying to.
He was dark-skinned brother, but he didn't know all that, bro.
Yeah, but it's not dark-skinned brother. Being a nigga's a mentality.
I think
being a nigga's a mentality. It has nothing to do with your skin. Being a nigga is a mentality. It has nothing to do with the color of your skin. A nigger by definition is a person who lacks knowledge. So a nigger is a mentality, a person who is dumb, even in this era of information. That would be a nigga. A person who can't look up. This is why I tell you, you're a nigga, because all of the science that's out there, you won't listen to none of that. You'll just make up your own theories and your own.
You're not a nigga for being wrong every time about every fucking thing.
How?
Everything we talk about.
But you can't. But nothing that you can't never prove me wrong. You just say nigga every now and then. If we have an opinion on 20 fights, I'm not gonna get all 20 right. But I'm not a nigga because I actually go do homework. I look at Tyson Fury's resume. I know that there's people Tyson Fury went the distance with that Dillian White then knocked out. And I know Anthony Joshua knocked out Dillian White. And I know
your boy is Dillian White. And
Dillian White's not my bull. My point with Dillian White is that Dillian White is one of the better heavyweights in the heavyweight division. But he's not, no, that's not my guy. My only point is the same point I have with Andy Ruiz. They're both top 10 heavyweights. Now with Dillian White and his resume, Dillian White is higher up than. No, I'm not right this second. Dillian White is higher up than Andy Ruiz because of who Dillian White has knocked out, who Dillian White has beat.
Time I heard his name today.
Because Dillian White, arguably, if you want to keep it a bean, out of everybody in the heavyweight division, Dillian White is probably arguably number 4 behind Wilder, Fury, and Joshua because he has the best resume. None of these other guys have a belt. So we can't say, oh, this guy got a belt. You can't put Dillian White over that guy because he got a belt. None of these other boxers, whether it be Joseph Parker, Andy Ruiz, Luis Ortiz, none of them have a belt. If you were talking about outside of Wilder, Fury, and Joshua, off of their accomplishments, they're definitely number 3. They're the top.
So White better than Ruiz? What you're saying?
What I'm saying is, on paper, yes. They've never fought each other, but if you just comparing resumes, if you're just comparing resumes, yes.
Wow.
Because you got to look at who who White's beat. You're not looking at it. You're just saying off of who you think will win in the fight, who's better. That's what you're doing. That's what you do. I'm telling you that Andy Ruiz's resume consists of 3 fights that matter. Anthony Joshua twice, and Joseph Parker. Now, out of those 3...
You mean the second time he didn't even get knocked out or nothing, right? That game?
Yeah, but Andy Ruiz never been knocked out. Nobody in boxing has ever knocked Andy Ruiz out. Joshua's the only one that ever knocked him down.
Got him there.
My point is this. That's why I said on paper. I put it in context. Because Andy Ruiz's resume is his 3 biggest fights. 2 of them are losses. A lost decision to Joseph Parker and a lost decision to Anthony Joshua. Now, let me tell you where Dillian White's different. Remember, we talked about Andy Ruiz's losses. Let's talk about Dillian White's loss. He's been in the ring with AJ. So his only loss is AJ. He's beaten Parker. He's beaten Lucas Brown. He's beaten Oscar Rivas. He's beaten Derek Chisora twice, once by knockout. He's offered money to Luis Ortiz. He's offered money to Andy Ruiz. He's offered money to Deontay Wilder. And Deontay Wilder has done nothing but actually help grow the legend of Dillian White by not making short work of him. By that text coming out that came from Deontay Wilder saying, I don't have to do nothing for 2 years, I'm just going to make you wait. That makes Dillian White look like some type of threat. We all know it's not true because we've seen Anthony Joshua turn this nigga into pudding. Dillian White was leaning against the ropes, knocked out. So we know Dillian White ain't the done dollar. When motherfucking Gerald Miller popped dirty for steroids, Anthony Joshua offered you another fight and you turned it down. We know you're not the done dollar. We know that. But the thing is, out of all the, but the only thing is, when it comes to the heavyweight division, it's a very small pool of people that we actually believe in to some degree. And I'm sitting here admitting that the top 3 guys that everybody, that have people who have faith in them because of what they've done in their career are Fury, Wilder, and Joshua. I'm agreeing to that because White don't got no belt. Wilder had a belt for a while. He had a belt for 5.5 years. White don't have no belt. Only belt he ever had was a British Commonwealth title. He ain't never been no real champion, but he's fought champions.
His name was spoken upon 100 times.
But he fought champions. He's fought champions. He's fought former champions. The fact that Dillian White fought Anthony Joshua in like Anthony Joshua's 16th fight shows that Dillian White ain't running. Joshua was undefeated. Joshua had knocked out everybody he fought at that point. And then he knocked out Dillian White. And Dillian White had beat Joshua in the amateurs on points. So my point being this, if we can talk about knockouts. And yeah, Deontay Wilder got the nicest knockout reel in the heavyweight division. But when we talk about technique, there's a lot of guys who got more technique than him. Some of those guys don't have enough power to get him out of there. That's a fact. But some of them do. And he makes it a point not to fight those guys. All that combined, plus what we just saw with Tyson Fury and what we saw with Tyson Fury the first time, and the way we saw motherfucking, what's his name, Ortiz, just box Wilder head off 2 times. The same time we saw Arthur Spilka get him early in the rounds. The same time we seen Harold Skyers, who went on to have more losses than he had wins, knock Deontay Wilder down early in the fight. The same way the boy Romanov knocked him out in the Olympics and he finished in 3rd place, is what I've been telling you all this time, why he was phony. You just don't want to listen because you think his right hand can overcome anything. It can't.
It possibly can. I've seen a bad fight.
I mean, what I'll say is this. with Joshua, the reason why I made my video and said he flew too close to the sun, I explained it. Because Joshua took everything for granted. He let being young and having less than 25 fights affect him. He thought he made it. He let the press go to his head. He thought everything was his. And he thought that he substituted Andy Ruiz, who he took as a cupcake, for Gerald Miller. And all that was wrong. And then he got into the fight and actually did the right thing and knocked Andy Ruiz down in like the second round. And then Andy Ruiz got back up and let his hands go. Joshua did what Fury did, jumped in the way of harm's way, trying to jump on him because he thought he had him hurt. And he got caught on the side of his head. That's not an excuse. That's just me saying that Joshua was young and dumb. Wilder's different. Wilder's just not that good. Because in the second fight, there's no way that Wilder can switch his style up to ever outbox Tyson Fury. He's not good enough. He's relying on one technique, one tool. And if it don't come, like I told you, all Fury got to do is stay up. He did more than that. He went and did more. But all he had to do was stay up because in 12 rounds, there's no possible way that somebody with Deontay Wilder's talent level is going to outbox Tyson Fury. It's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen, but...
And that's Wilder's Achilles heel. So now the difference between Fury and AJ is this. Yes, Fury can box better than AJ. I don't think nobody will argue that Anthony Joshua is a better 1, 2, 3 ABC technical boxer than Fury. It's because it's not true. But what is true is that he hit harder than Fury. So if Wilder sit there being patient with Joshua, he got to take some shots, bruh. He going to take some real shots. The type of shots that knock Klitschko out. The type of shots that knock Dillian White out. The type of shots that knock Alexander Povetkin out. Those type of shots. The type of shots that made Andy Ruiz stumble back 2 and 3 steps because they were so strong. And that's why he won't take the fight. It's too risky. Because if Joshua would catch me with a punch to the back of my head, I'm going down.
You sure?
Positive, because he hit harder than Fury. Positive now after what I... Yes, B?
If you say so.
You the only
that didn't happen the last 2 times I seen him. The last 2 times I seen him, I don't see all that. Right.
So now, wait, what he say was wrong with him, D? My corner wouldn't let me go out on my shield. He admitted he was out of it, D. He admitted he was done. He admitted he was done. He admitted he was done. Exactly.
I said he got out on the shield.
Fury, but he don't have to because they care about him. And that's the way they make money. And they rather be able to make money again instead of Deontay not being able to fight ever again.
And he always makes fast decisions sometimes. That's all.
Nah, I mean, corners do that. And obviously, Tyson Fury showed Deontay Wilder ain't had nothing for him tonight. Not tonight.
He said, I get Paul Malignaggi all.
Man. All right, man. I don't agree with that, but I'll let you keep going.
Wilder said that? So the same Paulie Malignaggi who you told them can't do the announcing for your fights no more?
Yeah.
That Paulie Malignaggi, I give Paulie Malignaggi all the credit. Why? Because he's an actual boxing analyst and he told you couldn't fucking fight for years? He told you to stop being so sloppy and work harder on your technique for years? So did Teddy Atlas. You ain't giving him no credit. Teddy Atlas made a whole video and said, I'm not doing this for likes and clicks. I'm doing this because Deontay Wilder needs to smarten up. He said, I know Mark Breland. Mark Breland can box. This what big time boxing is all about? I just appreciate all the fans that came out. So this is what I'm saying to you. You could have got more money to lose to Anthony Joshua. And if you win, you get the money and you get more what's the name. And guess what? D? Guess what? The loser get 40% in the rematch.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the loser gets. So now Wilder is definite B-side. It's in the contract. It's in the contract that the winner of the fight gets 60%. I wonder where y'all got that idea from. Oh, yeah, Anthony Joshua offered that to you. He said the first fight will be 50-50 in a rematch. The loser will take 30%. And you said no. See, he playing with big dollars, so and he confident in himself, so he said 30%. If I lose, I'll take 30%. And that means you would get 70. All you gotta do is beat me one time. No, I don't want to do that. You can't just offer me money. You can't just throw money at me. You thought it was all about you, Joshua, and me and Fury showed you. No, Fury showed you, dumbass, because Fury's gonna go get 50% from Joshua, which you could have got. You had Joshua by his balls. Yeah, because he really wanted to be undisputed. Joshua really wants that. That's why he went strap collecting. And then when the last strap came up, you ain't want to fight him. We all know why now. Because Fury's capable of stopping you. A person who stops nobody, virtually.
A man that can box the best.
Yeah, but but you're still not making You just said earlier in this conversation that Fury don't knock people out. That Fury's not
undefeated. Unless that's true.
So what? But it's not about being undefeated. It's about who you beat. I explained to you earlier, Keith Thurman was undefeated. Danny Garcia was undefeated.
Wilder was undefeated till the night.
Mayweather is undefeated. At one time, Pacquiao was undefeated. At one time, Canelo was undefeated. But Canelo went in there with Mayweather. So with the judges and the ref on Mayweather's side, Canelo going to win that? Or was Floyd Mayweather trying to get a young Canelo Alvarez's name on his belt because he already saw what Canelo was going to do? And after the fight, he said Canelo Alvarez is the future of boxing, and he was correct. He had the complexion for the selection, and he got the skills to pay the bills. When you add those two things, they don't give a fuck if he's Filipino, Mexican, British.
I don't either, but you mad at me because I like...
No, I'm not mad at you. I never was mad at you. I never was mad at you. I'm mad at you for liking Fury, like hating on Anthony Joshua. Now, if you liked them both, if you would have gave them both their credit from day one, if you would have said that Joshua was a real champion and he was good and that was crazy.
No, I said he was average and he got
like Joshua, even now, Joshua has done something Fury's never done. Joshua went belt collecting. Fury won all his belts from one person.
I mean, Glass Jason box.
Who?
Glass Joe, the nigga from Punch-Out King, the first nigga.
I don't know.
The Glass King.
I don't know, but Joshua didn't get
hit. Oh, man, you gotta start playing Mike Tyson Punch-Out then,
I know what Mike Tyson punch is, but Joshua didn't get hit in his chin. So Joshua got hit in his head like Wilder did. You making it an excuse for Wilder because Fury's a
I ain't making no excuse. He got hit in the back of his
and so did Joshua.
Son.
And so did Joshua.
That was a chin hit.
So I'm coming down in the morning. You got some money on you? You want to bet? You want to bet that I can show you? You want to bet that I can show you that Anthony Ruiz punched him in the back of his head? Because like I said, I can find the footage. It's not hard.
I tell you, why would I pay attention to that thing that much?
I don't care what you're paying attention to. I'm not playing games. I'm talking about betting some money. We can bet whatever you want to bet. My pockets is straight.
I know. That's why you talking shit now. That's what
my pocket's been straight. I've been talking shit to you about some bread. I've been told you my money was good. I've been told you that months ago.
I said mine
months ago. What I'm telling you is this. What I'm telling you is this. I can bet on what I'm saying and be proven right. I can show it to you in your face, and then you would have to give up your money because you would be wrong if you're sitting here and saying that it wasn't the same thing.
I don't care. I wouldn't bet on that anyway.
And that's my point because you already know I'm right. You're just putting what happened to your guy. You're just putting what happened to your guy on the pedestal. Joshua got hit in the back of the head too. He ran in, rushed in, because remember, he had just knocked Ruiz down. He thought it was over. He thought he was about to finish him. And he walked in, Ruiz being a shorter fighter, having the faster hands, just threw 1-2. In the right hand, caught him behind the ear. And then Joshua went wobbly legged. His corner ain't never thrown no white flag in. His corner ain't thrown no white flag in. Joshua wasn't laid out on the ground.
No.
So if the ref stopped it, whose was worse? Whose was worse?
Joshua, he hit his knee.
So Joshua, no, he didn't. Joshua was sitting in the corner with his arms on the fucking ropes. Just make up shit as you go. He wasn't on no knee. He was standing in the corner. He was standing in the fucking corner, and the ref walked up to him and waved it off, and he said, "What?" He said, "What?"
One bending knee.
And what I'm saying to you is this: I agree that Joshua wasn't there. I agree that Joshua was concussed, and he didn't know if he.
But why does it worse?
Because his team threw the towel in. Because his team quit. His team said, "We don't want no more of this. We don't call it. It's over, ref. We're done. We're throwing in the flag. We don't want no more." No more. No
Ain't got
mas.
nothing to do with him.
No
Ain't got nothing
mas.
to do with that man.
No mas is what they were saying. No
I
more.
don't got nothing to do with that man.
Yes, it do. Joshua's corner ain't throwing no fucking flag in on him.
It's going to ruthless.
Because Joshua was still on his feet. He was still fighting. Fuck out of here. The man is tougher than Wilder in every way. Tougher than Wilder in every way. And did you knock Fury down in the fight in which you got stopped?
I didn't see that, man.
Did you knock Fury down in the fight in which you got stopped? Because Joshua knocked Ruiz down. Joshua knocked Ruiz down first. He started it all. He dropped the person who has never been dropped.